chronic sleep problem can be so detrimental to our mental health and well-being. Every time you see sunlight, you should feel like a sunflower, right? Managing and optimizing our sleep is the single most important lever that we can pull when it comes to our mental health and fitness. It cannot be overstated. When we sleep, our body recovers physically, mentally, and emotionally. And if we don't have a sleep for a day or two, it's fine. Our body can recover. It's very resilient. But a chronic sleep problem can be so detrimental to our mental health and well-being, and it's almost we can never backtrack it because it happens slowly, drip by drip, and by the time we realize, oh, I have a mental health issue, every single thing is falling apart. Sleep deprivation or a sleep problem is so powerful that it is the biggest test for US Navy SEALs. If you want to become the most ultimate war machine on the planet, the biggest test that you face is ultimate sleep deprivation. It's the same technique that you use when you torture or when you go into questioning some really harsh criminals. Sleep deprivation, because it completely diminishes our cognitive ability, our emotional guards, our rational guards, our physical recovery machine. All of that suffers if our sleep is not proper. So the first thing, if you are suffering or experiencing any kind of mental dis-ease, the first thing to turn towards is to optimize our sleep. And there are a few simple ways that we can do that. The first one is to be in the sunlight as much as possible. You can do your own research on finding all the benefits of exposing our skin to sunlight and why it's causing almost all the modern health diseases, a lack of sunlight, lack of vitamin D. But as a rule of thumb, every time you see sunlight, you should feel like a sunflower. Where there is the sunlight, you just walk there and expose yourself without any sunblock. And you will start noticing dramatic changes, not just in your sleep, but also if you're exercising, in your exercise performance, if you're trying to lose weight, in the ease with which you can lose weight. So sunlight exposure, at least 30 minutes a day. Second thing is to reduce caffeine or almost eliminate caffeine after 2 p.m. Caffeine has the half-life of caffeine is at least 8 hours. And depending on your body type, some people can process caffeine faster and easier than others. But as a rule of thumb, if you are taking caffeine after 2 p.m., coffee, any kind of Coca-Cola products, or those sodas, I don't know why you would do that, but if you are, right, or even tea or chai, right, it has a bit of caffeine. If we can limit the amount of caffeine that we're ingesting in our system after 2 p.m., you'll start noticing the benefits of deeper sleep. The third thing is to block blue light exposure from our devices, from our mobiles, computers, and TV screens, what have you, especially in the evening after say 6 p.m. or so. See, the thing is, in nature, blue light only comes out during the daytime, and when we receive light from our receptors like our eyes or our skin, it communicates certain information. When we receive blue light, it communicates that it's still daytime. So our body is releasing certain hormones that it's supposed to release only in the daytime, because our body gets tricked by the blue light. So the hormones that are getting released are keeping us awake, right? So if we can block blue light, there's enough apps. On Android there's f.lux, on iPhone there's a native app that can just block blue light after a specific period of time every single day automatically. That has a tremendous impact on how well you sleep. And finally, remove the last 1.5 to 2 hours before sleeping. Remove any kind of screen time. Watching television right before going to bed, what it does, because the TV has become really good, I must say, right? Or social media has become extremely addictive. But what that does is that it creates hyperactivity in our brain. So if we go straight away from TV or lots of going through tons of content really fast, and there's this concept of information fatigue or hyperactivity in our brain. And if we do that right before sleeping, it takes a while for our brain to calm down. Instead, what we should do is the last 2 hours or an hour and a half should be without the TV screen. Spend some time with your loved one. Have some non-caffeinated drinks or teas like chamomile tea. Read a book, right? Journal what has happened in the day, maybe have some mindful practice or a meditation practice. If we do these things before going to bed, you will start noticing how easy it is to fall asleep. If you're experiencing a chronic sleep problem, I hope you can apply like either all of these steps or at least 2 to 3 steps from the list that I mentioned. And what you will notice is not an instant change in a day or 2 or 3, but after a week or so, you'll certainly start feeling, oh, I just have more energy. Right? In a month's time, if you're trying to lose weight, you'll be like, oh, I'm suddenly losing weight more easily, because when we are sleep deprived, our body is more stressed. And when our body is more stressed, it grabs onto fat really, really strongly. It lowers our metabolism. A bunch of other things happen when we are experiencing a chronic sleep problem. So if you can apply these steps, it would make a huge difference in your sleep, which is the easiest and stronger lever to pull when it comes to our mental and physical well-being. I hope you find value in this.